Thunderbirds is essentially a public affairs machine for the United States Air Force as well as the Department of Defense. Our tasking is to go out every single weekend between March and November and connect communities with their military. We do that by displaying air power at its finest. We put 6 airplanes in extreme close proximity to one another, so about 1.5 to 3 feet, and we do a various set of maneuvers demonstrating precision, the power of the F-16 in modern-day fighter aircraft, and then the professionalism and high level of capability it takes to both maintain as well as fly those aircraft. We fly the F-16 Block 52, so it's powered by a Pratt & Whitney single engine generating over 30,000 pounds of thrust. That's important because the jet only weighs about 26,000 pounds. So what that means is I can take it to the end of the runway, accelerate in less than 2 miles up to 500 knots, put it right on its tail, and accelerate and go straight up. So I can climb to surface to about 16,000 feet in less than 15 seconds. And we'll actually do that during the show. Our capability is just above Mach 2, so twice the speed of sound over 1,400 miles per hour. You're not going to see that in the show because we bust every window within a 2-mile radius. So you'll see just below the speed of sound. So there will be a couple maneuvers throughout the show where you will not see us and you will not hear us until after we pass you. We'll be extremely low, about 150 feet off the ground at speeds upwards of about 720 miles per hour. So we typically will do a site visit anytime that we're going to an airfield that we haven't been to in the past 5 years. The purpose of the site visit is one, to check out the airfield, ensure the taxiways, the apron where we're being parked, the runways themselves are in conditions that are suitable for an F-16. An F-16 is very different from a commercial airliner. The engine is directly underneath the pilot. It generates a lot of thrust, which means it brings in a lot of air. So it's kind of like a little vacuum cleaner going across the runway. So that's very important for the safety of our engines and for the fleet. So we'll go out there today, we'll check out the runway, we'll check out the taxiways, apron. For FOD, we'll also look at any type of contingency planning that we would have to do, i.e. sweepers or anything else based on cracks or deteriorating conditions. This airfield here is a wonderful airfield in great condition, and it's partnered with our Guard brothers and sisters, so it's kept up extremely well, so I don't see any problems right now. So that's part of it. The second part of it is ensuring that the entire site can accommodate one, our C-17 that shows up with all our equipment. We carry about 24,000 tons of equipment every time we go somewhere, along with about 60 individuals. So we're looking at that and make sure that the speed at which we operate, the airfield can sustain that, as well as the surrounding community. And then lastly, and most importantly, is to connect the community with the Thunderbirds. So put a little bit of hype into the to the air, get people excited for what's to come, and answer any questions that we might have that we couldn't do over like a video teleconference. I think the biggest thing, one, is we're military. We're all active duty military professionals. So I came directly from a combat coded unit. I was in Afghanistan when I actually applied for the Thunderbirds. Before that, I was in Libya during Operation Odyssey Dawn, and I've been all over the world flying in support of contingency operations. So that's the first thing. The profession, we are a profession of arms. That makes us different. The training that we receive in the military is the best in the world. Our Air Force is the best Air Force in the world for a reason, and that's because of our people and our training. So we get to display that during the weekend. Also, our airplanes are much faster and much more capable as far as speeds, Gs, and maneuverability than a lot of the civilian planes that you would see flying. And they're obviously a lot louder. So those are going to be the big differences. I'm not taking anything away from the civilian performers. They do some incredible things that you cannot do in an F-16. Some of the small aerobatic airplanes that can take up to 12 Gs and do negative, they turn those end over end. And what's amazing about seeing the military side and the civilian side is you really get an appreciation for aviation. Some people, I was walking through the airport today, and some people don't even fly on airplanes because they're scared. They think they're just going to fall out of the sky. And a lot of the civilian performers, what they show, there's actually one performer where he'll lose an aileron and show you that the airplane's still going to fly. Instilling that confidence in people that maybe have a little bit of uneasiness with flight is pretty great to see as well. But our purpose as the Thunderbirds is to show what your military can do and the power and precision that we can do it at. I think one of the favorite things for me and for the majority of the team when we go on the road is just meeting people. Getting out there, talking to people, see where they've come from, see their background, see what interests them and why they came to the show. Sometimes it's to see a civilian act, sometimes it's to see the guys that jump out of perfectly good airplanes out of the Navy or the Army, which is crazy, and it's awesome. Sometimes it's to see the Thunderbirds or any other jet aviation. But we like to kind of see why and hear their story and hopefully share a little bit of ours as well. The men and women that we bring out on the road every single week, I think, are some of America's finest. And they're only a representation of a bigger group, right? So we're out there representing, men and women that are deployed around the world in support of contingency operations, defending our freedoms. They take away the freedoms that we enjoy every single day by going to hostile locations, and if they need to, put their life on the line in defense of our freedoms. And that's important to know. It's important to understand that men and women are sacrificing every day. And it's just not the person, right? So it's also the families that are behind them. And in this community, one of the great things about this area is that you have that, and it's our opportunity to say thank you for those that support their airmen, women, and Army and Navy.